none were ready to go, but around the state there'll be a lot of these projects going. And the other thing is for water projects and water upgrades. Although WSFC, which has decades worth of maintenance and new pipes that need to be caught up on, is just going to get really a drop in the bucket that, from what it needs to be able to catch up.
But the road work will increase the job applications of many people. They'll be able to get a job, apply for a job, and go to work in the state of Maryland somewhere. Absolutely. On the roads. Any idea what the numbers are in terms of 5,000 people working on 404 or wherever they're going to work?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's significant.
It is significant. What does the comptroller say to you when you sit there and advise him on what to do with our money? What do you think?
Well, to be fair, that limits don't have responsibility.
Don't be humble. We know you're advisor to the comptroller, Mr. Franchot.
Who gets audited? Is that right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. He had one very successful initiative this year. You probably all saw it, read about it, maybe saw it on Facebook, saw it on the news. We really pressed for e-filing of tax returns. And our numbers were way, way up from what they previously previously expected. The taxpayers is if you file, because our budget was cut like everybody else's, we had to continue to release and process tax returns. If you filed electronically, or your preparer filed for you electronically, you got your tax refund in 3 days.
Wow.
If you filed by paper, you got
3 years.
They were estimating 16 weeks, which is a little longer than it has been previously, but that's because we don't understand it. And I know for a fact that many people, myself, file electronically, and the checks were either direct deposit, checks were either
No, that's great.
and that's actually an initiative which is happening now for the major tax preparers, the companies that do the volume of business. They have to now at least offer their customers that's a big one. It's a win for the
Sure.
It's a win for the state because we're sending a ton of money.
Wonderful. How about the governor and the comptroller? Are they getting along better than they were, say, 10 months ago?
I think we're getting along just fine.
Good.
I have to ask the person.
I could ask Glenn, who is an evil person. He might know. Or he might make up an answer.
I seriously think the comptroller has
Good. I haven't either. I haven't heard anything about it, so I think.
And the
you're probably
comptroller had
right.
a tremendous opportunity to gloat over the failure of slots to meet his expectations, and he didn't do that.
Oh, that's right. I would think so. How about,
Yeah, you gotta go.
how about the political ramifications within the state? Is O'Malley, is he having a good term? Is he going to be challenged by whomever? What do you
I don't
think?
see anybody coming
Right.
up in the Democratic primary right now, unless you guys see somebody I'm not paying attention to. I'm sure, it's not lost on people that Ehrlich's done a lot of TV time over the last couple of months and spent most of this last week being very critical of the legislature and the governor and the way they've been handling the budget. So that may suggest some intention for him, but I don't know.
You don't think you would run it again, do you?
Oh, you never say
Sure.
never.
Oh, you
This
would?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Because I don't think he would have a shot. I just don't see him.
I'm sure he's polling to see if he has a shot.
Yeah, I think the big issue for the governor is for everybody up there is, does the economy turn around enough over the next 6 to 8, 10 months that there's a potential for everybody to get back on their feet and move forward? If that comes to fruition, I think the governor's chances go up dramatically. If it doesn't, then they're going to level off or plateau or maybe fall. And I think at this point in time, everybody's doing the best they can, but it's a matter of things that may be beyond the governor's control, maybe beyond the legislator's control, and they're just sitting back and hoping that the storm subsides a bit.
Whose economy is it? Is it now Obama's economy? Or does it continue to be, hey, we entered into the administration with a $5 trillion deficit? Whose economy is it?
Well, I think Mr. Obama clearly inherited a deficit. I don't think it was $5 trillion, but clearly he started with being a bit in the hole. I think there's some criticism about what he and the Congress have done in terms of bailouts and the Treasury and the Federal Reserve, and there's plenty of criticism going around for everybody, for both presidents and for a lot of folks.
I thought there were some signs that there's some stabilization at the fourth quarter of this year.
But the market dropped to, another couple of 100 points yesterday, and it's still back under 8,000. Interest rates, are for the big banks or something are almost negative now. There's provision. There's actually discussions in the banking committee in the House to have negative 3% loans for people. So if they borrow $100, they'll have to pay back 97. I mean, it's an incredible idea that I think just poses some real challenges to people that are going to be managing.
What do you think about judges being able to set the price of a house and things like that?
I have a problem personally,
What
and
do you
I'll
think?
defer to the two lawyers here, but I have a problem when judges or government get in between two people in a contract. I mean, the sense of contracts and property ownership and private property ownership go back to the founding of this nation. And when political interest or judicial interest get in the mix of those, whatever the motivation, whatever the logic is, I think it poses some serious risk and some challenges. And I'll defer to my learned colleagues here.
I think when people go into a transaction with both eyes open, well, then they're stuck with it. But if people are in any way deceived or defrauded, then I think it's the role of the government to step in and protect those people.
Subprime.
Yeah.
Exactly. What do you think?
I agree. The only thing I add is that in the market we're in, when we foreclosures, we have to do something to prop up the market. I hate to say that, but we have to, because the value of the house goes down. If half the houses are not foreclosed,
Absolutely.
it's just a self-perpetuating prophecy that the other houses are going to be.
But logically and in the abstract, I think everybody understands that. Where it runs into challenges is when Joe Sixpack decides that he's going to pay somebody else's mortgage, given the constraints that he or she is operating under their own conditions. It's one of these things that just no simple solutions, and it's fraught with problems wherever you go, whichever way you go. I mean,
What about the loan modification program that Obama has? I guess it's finally kind of in place, and some of the bigger banks, Wells Fargo for one, is taking that as part of their process to look at someone and say, okay, you meet the criteria for loan modification, interest drop, or
I was listening to one of the business shows on television there, then they were saying like 1 in 4 applicants for long-term credit receives it. That means 3 out of 4 people are not getting the credit that they need or want. So there's still a serious problem getting credit flows moving. And I'm hearing that the challenges in the what do you call them? The bigger loans. There's a term, a real estate term deals with it. The jumbo mortgages. Apparently, they're having some real challenges. You know, this problem's not going to go away anytime soon. I'm usually optimistic, but